He thought it was a routine ship breakdown and fixed it unaware it belonged to the Queen, the human technician. Eli had spent years aboard the commercial repair station orbiting the star system Nivara. Life there was monotonous, filled with the hum of engines and the faint scent of ozone from ionized plasma. But it was a life he knew, a life of predictable tasks, where the most complicated problem involved recalibrating thrusters or replacing energy conduits. Today, however, would be anything but routine. The alert had come as a soft chime through the station's communications panel. A small transport vessel drifted near the station's outskirts, signaling a systems failure. No identification flashed on the scanner, just a nondescript vessel requesting immediate repairs. Eli didn't think twice. A breakdown was a breakdown, and he had a schedule to keep. He boarded the transport with his usual tools strapped to his belt. The exterior looked ordinary enough, sleek but worn from space travel, with faint scorch marks along the hull. He activated the ship's emergency lights and stepped inside. The interior was silent, save for the faint hiss of air circulation. Panels blinked in alarm, and the smell of burnt circuitry hinted at a minor power surge. Routine, Eli muttered to himself. Probably a capacitor or a relay misfire. He opened a maintenance hatch near the engine core and began inspecting the components. Sparks had charred the edges of the main reactor, and several conduits were misaligned. It was exactly the kind of work he had trained for, and within an hour he had replaced the damaged parts, rerouted energy flow, and stabilized the reactor. The ship's systems hummed steadily again, and Eli allowed himself a small smile. That should do it, he said. He left the control room and prepared to return to the station, expecting the grateful pilot to arrive any moment. Instead, the hatch behind him hissed open, and a presence entered, a figure of calm authority and grace that made Eli stop mid-step. The woman who stepped through the doorway was unlike anyone he had ever seen. Her uniform gleamed in muted metallic colors, adorned with insignias that spoke of rank and power, though he could not place them. Her eyes were sharp, intelligent, and carried a weight that silenced the room. "I assume you are the one who repaired my ship," she said, her voice soft but commanding, echoing slightly in the empty corridor. Eli turned to face her, blinking in surprise. Yes, ma'am. Just a minor fix. Nothing serious." Her lips curved, slightly in what could have been a smile, though her gaze never wavered. "You have excellent skill," she said. "Most technicians would have delayed until proper authorization, but you acted quickly." Eli felt a flush of pride. Praise from a shipowner was not uncommon, but there was something in her tone, something beyond ordinary recognition. "I'm just doing my job," he replied, trying to sound casual while his heart raced. She stepped closer, allowing him a better view. Her uniform's design, though alien, bore subtle elegance. It was clear she was not from the commercial or military sectors he was familiar with. Yet there was no hostility, only presence. "Do you know who I am?" she asked. Eli frowned, thinking she might be some minor noble or high-ranking officer. I don't believe so, Mom." A faint glimmer appeared in her eyes, a mix of amusement and patience. "I am the queen of this sector. The vessel you repaired is mine." Eli froze. Queen. His mind raced, flipping through scenarios he had only ever imagined in stories of galactic diplomacy. He had repaired countless ships, but never had he unknowingly serviced a sovereign vessel. "Why, Your Majesty, I didn't realize." He stamered. Her gaze softened. "And yet you acted without hesitation. You did not wait for special permission. You judged what needed to be done and did it." Eli's fingers tightened around his tool belt. "I just saw a ship in trouble. I fixed it. That's all." "Exactly," she said, stepping aside to gesture toward the now functioning control panel. a human quality I admire. Decisive action, clear judgment, and courage without thought of reward. Rare among my allies. He blinked. Courage? It was just a breakdown. I wasn't, you know. He waved vaguely. She let out a soft laugh, quiet but musical, a sound that seemed to linger in the room longer than it should. Your modesty is admirable, but what you call a breakdown, I call risk. One wrong calculation could have destabilized the reactor, destroyed the ship, and killed me. You did not falter. Eli swallowed hard, suddenly aware of how small his usual concerns seemed. All the technical problems, all the routine inspections, now paled against the weight of the responsibility he had handled unknowingly. The Queen studied him for a moment, her expression unreadable. I have seen the reports of humans, your kind, often underestimated in interstellar relations. You reinforce what my intelligence suspected. Humans act with a combination of ingenuity and instinct that surpasses what most species achieve under similar conditions. Eli's mouth opened and closed. I don't know what to say, he admitted honestly. Do not say anything, she replied. Actions speak louder than words, and your actions have spoken. There was a pause, and then she added, It is unusual for a human to be so fearless. Even in your own systems, I would imagine technicians rarely board a malfunctioning ship alone. It's part of the job, Eli said, but he felt the weight of her gaze, the subtle acknowledgement of what he had done. I never thought of it as fearless, just necessary. Her eyes glimmered with what might have been approval or curiosity. And necessary is precisely why I will extend an invitation. I wish for you to accompany me on a journey through my sector. There are systems in need of repair, settlements under threat, and knowledge that I believe humans can provide. Eli's brow furrowed. An invitation from you, Mom? From your Queen, she corrected gently, though her tone was not condescending. Consider it an opportunity to learn and to share your expertise, and perhaps to witness how your kind might influence the future of interstellar relations. Eli blinked. He had worked in space stations and shipyards, fixing problems for freighters and small transport vessels. He had never imagined he would receive a direct summons from a sovereign ruler of an entire sector. Yet something in her presence made it impossible to refuse. I would be honored, he said finally. Her smile widened slightly. Then we depart at dawn. Rest now, for tomorrow will not be routine. Eli returned to the station quarters, his mind racing. He replayed the events of the day over and over. A routine repair, a Queen's ship, a summons that could change the course of his life. Sleep was elusive, but anticipation carried him into the early hours. The next day, he arrived at the transport. The Queen waited on the bridge, her posture serene, the ship's systems humming smoothly around her. She nodded in greeting, and he stepped aboard. The vessel's engines roared as they departed orbit. Eli took in the sleek interior, the advanced navigation systems, and the subtle elegance that made it clear this ship was not merely functional, but a symbol of authority. As the stars stretched into streaks of light in faster-than-light travel, the Queen spoke. You will see much in the coming days, technician. You will repair, you will witness, and you will teach. But remember this, humans are underestimated for a reason. You have potential far beyond what many believe. Eli felt a surge of determination. All his life he had worked quietly, solving problems that seemed small in the grand scheme of the universe. Now, the universe itself had recognized his worth, not for politics or strategy, but for the skill and courage that had been second nature to him. Days turned into weeks. Eli traveled to worlds where colonies struggled with failing infrastructure, where isolated research stations needed urgent attention, and where starships damaged in cosmic storms awaited skilled hands. Everywhere he went, his expertise and instinct made him invaluable. And everywhere, The queen observed not to command, but to understand the human who dared to act when others hesitated. Eli found that humans had a unique ability to improvise solutions under pressure, a blend of logic, instinct, and adaptability. He repaired engines with jury-rigged components, stabilized failing life support systems, and even negotiated temporary truce terms between alien factions using practical knowledge combined with simple honesty. The queen's confidence in him grew, but she never spoke of rank or protocol. She allowed him to act freely, trusting his judgment, and in doing so, he realized something profound. Human ingenuity was not just about technology. It was about courage, decisiveness, and responsibility in the face of unknown risks. One evening, aboard the ship, as the twin suns of a distant world dipped below the horizon, the queen approached him. "Eli," she said, "your people have potential that even I did not fully anticipate. They adapt, they create, and they endure where others fail." Eli looked at her, tired but proud. I just do what I think is right." "Precisely," she said. "And that is what sets humans apart. Do not underestimate the quiet strength in your kind. It is the foundation upon which empires rise or fall." He realized then that his life had changed forever. What had begun as a routine repair had evolved into a journey of discovery, leadership, and recognition. The universe was larger, more complex, and more beautiful than he had imagined. And humans, though underestimated, could shape its destiny in ways that even queens must respect. Eli returned to his work each day, repairing, exploring, and learning. But he no longer saw it as routine. Every panel he opened, every conduit,